Something that I've been lucky enough to do in my history is travel a lot, and Todd and I actually got to go to Puerto Rico and we took students there. So I've taught in England and I've taught in Japan and I've lived in Cuba. And when I lived in Cuba, I lost 50 pounds. And it was really easy for me until I put it back on. When I lived there, I lost 50 pounds because they eat to sustain themselves. They don't eat because there's that much on their plate. Because, you know, when my friends from England come to the United States, they say, who's going to eat the rest of what you just brought me? So, interestingly enough, there's all kinds of laws that are different in different countries. And the exact same foods that you and I eat here even have different recipes. So, for example, in England, if you bought, say, like a cereal like Kix, it would have less sugar and less sodium than the United States products of Kix. Now the reverse is true in Mexico, where they add more sugar to soda than we have. So there's all kinds of these mixed messages that continue to go out globally. So you've had a panel here talk about how it's not just affecting you and I in McHenry County, but it's affecting us all over the world. Now I promised that I would end with the Super Bowl, because it's coming up pretty soon, and most of you are Super Bowl fans, I hope. In '74, when the first commercials came out, a commercial cost how much, do you think? A 30-second commercial. Just take a guess. $5,000, I heard. Anybody else?
$1 million. 25,000.
25,000. You're getting closer. 200,000 in 1974. Last year, how much do you think the commercial cost?
$1 million.
$3 million. $3 million. This year they're saying it's probably going to cost between $2.6 to $2.8 million because of what's going on in the economy. Now here's the thing that I'm going to end with, because I think this is the most interesting part. When do you think people get up to take their bathroom break or go get a snack? When the commercials are on or when the game is on? When the game is on. Over 60% of people that watch the Super Bowl take their bathroom break or their snack break during the game because they don't want to miss the commercials.
Hello, audience. Well, first I want to thank the panelists again for their I think, John, I'll be haunted tonight in my dreams by creepy conduct. Never thought of it.
I'm sorry.
I love those as a child. We want to now give you an opportunity to offer us some feedback, particularly regarding issues or concerns that you think we might focus on in future sessions of this series. Now, we encourage you in your programs to write out your ideas, again, your reactions, your suggestions, and we'll collect those. But we want to take the rest of the time to sort of throw it out there in open forum. We have a microphone right there that Bonnie will bring up to you. And of course, any questions too you may have for the individual panelists as well.
Hi, my name is Tommaso and I'm a student of a speech class. I was born and raised in Italy. Over there, I was more familiar, in a sense, food is much more expensive. The cost of living is much more expensive. So one way that I like to say is, don't you think that we are being given exactly what we asked for? For example, we like things to be inexpensive and we want them to have it now. We don't wait for things. In addition to that, I kind of feel also that there are other factors, not just food, that involves people to eat more, such as stress, the style of living that we all have in this country. So I think that all these things need to be taken into consideration. We all drive cars and walk very little, so thank you.
Thank you.
Those are really great comments, and I don't know if you heard them say that in February we're going to have breakout groups. Those are exactly some of the things that we're going to talk about, because you are so right. It's about our emotions, often much more than just the food. So I hope that we'll see you in February.
My name is Teresa, and I have a question. I have a 2-year-old, and when I was growing up, my mother, we never ever ate out. I mean, she cooked all the time. So now I struggle because I took my daughter to the store today, and I find myself asking her, what do you want to eat? I guess instead of making something and saying you should eat it, but there's so many other things, although she's only 2, she sees all this other stuff. So when you're talking about teaching your kids to eat healthy, how do you do that when they're surrounded with all this stuff? And maybe we could touch more on that later. But, you know, like I know Jerry Seinfeld's wife wrote a book about how to blend in vegetables with food, and I have that book. But I guess I kind of struggle with what to give her and how do you make a 3-year-old eat healthier?
I get this question a lot, which is why I grabbed the mic. I specialize in terrorism, but I also cook a lot. So it sounds strange, but I swear to God, I actually have a point on this. I have 3 little girls, 7, 5, and 2. So I've been going through this for the last 7 years or so. And a lot of my friends will ask me that exact question because they see my girls eating things that they don't believe any child would ever want to eat. And when I say that, I don't just mean fresh vegetables like, you know, broccoli and snap peas and stuff like that we eat every day, every week, and they eat them without even blinking hard. I mean things as surprising as gorgonzola blue cheese, olives, they'll eat lemons and limes straight. I'm convinced, and this is just my 2 bits on it, but I thought it was true with the first one. The second one followed suit. I thought, maybe it really is true. The third one, I'm pretty sure this is true. To me, it's how it's presented. I mean, going back to Dawn here, it's how it's marketed in a way. And marketing gets a bad rap because we tend to think of it as almost like an evil, insidious thing. But I absolutely love to cook and I love food. And so when I'm in the kitchen, I'm playing music, I'm having a good time with it, and they're helping me. So as I'm chopping this stuff up, I got things flying off my cutting board in every conceivable direction. You can ask my wife, it looks like a tornado hits when I cook. But they ask to take bites as we go. And I don't ever give them a facial expression that warns them ahead of time whether they're gonna like this or not. So they have no nonverbal signals. And I still remember with each and every one of them, it happened, all 3 of them independently of one another. Well, they were 2 years old. They would ask while I was cutting up limes or lemons on the board, and I'd give it to them. And they'd put it in their mouth, and then they'd get that, you know, expression when they do it. And I'd reach for it, and they'd go, and they'd pull back. They wanted to like it because we liked it, and we were having a good time, and all those positive associations that are going on there. Now I have these little plastic green serrated knives that my 2 older girls have, and they dice vegetables up with me. They help me cook. They're my little sous chefs. And I swear to God, it's because we're having a blast in the kitchen, and food is just part of it. It's not about making them eat it. That doesn't usually come up. I provide, you know, 3 or 4 things on the table, and they have to, for example, if there's 4 things on the table, they have to eat 3 of the 4. They don't have to eat all 4. I give them choices. But all the choices are healthy, every time. That's how I do it. I don't know if it helps or not, but that's my 2 bits.
In Sweden, they actually made a very conscious governmental decision to eliminate the type of advertising that we do to children with food. And it did not change the obesity rates. And so what they did then in the secondary studies in Sweden is it showed that it was modeled. It was what the parents did. It had nothing to do with the marketing and everything to do with the modeling. Now that's Sweden, but I would have to go along with Todd. If it worked there, it would seem like it could work here. There's statistics that show